Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. I am here in front of you to revise this question of summary writing for the syllabus of English language, first language 0500 IGCSE. This question is named as text B and it is taken from comprehension paper P1. Let's look further into the detail of position of this question, that from where this question will be taken, what will be the other questions along with that, and why do you need to give more attention to this question. Position of text B. It is taken from question from paper 1, question 1, and there will be a comprehension passage along with that, which is called text A, and then there is a summary task which is also carrying 15 marks. The text A as well as text B both carry 15 marks each. And after that there are short answers, and then there are language questions, and then we have extended response. So the total weightage of this paper is 80 marks. Why I am telling you the total weightage of this question? Because this question is carrying just 15 marks. The students spend too much time on attempting this simple question. If so much time will be utilized in attempting such an easy and simple question, then there are fears that the time for the remaining technical questions might be misused or might be wasted. So after revising the tips of summary writing, I expect you to obtain expertise in this question so that minimum time is utilized with the maximum grade and with the maximum results. So moving on. What are the steps and techniques to attempt the summary task? Based on text B, you will write a short, focused summary. The important thing about this question is that it should be a focused summary, meaning that you have to read the question, read the rubric, and answer accordingly. This question is carrying only 15 marks. And majority of the students, if you will follow the tips and techniques which I have shared with you, there are chances that you might get full marks in this question, or around 12 to 13 marks will be easily obtained. Now, there are 10 marks for the content, or which is also called the reading mark. And then there are 5 marks for the quality of writing, which is also called the writing mark. You are advised to spend 10 minutes to read and plan, and 10 minutes to write the summary. The total words which you are expected to write in IGCSE 0500 syllabus, they are just 120. So note it down very, very carefully. Do not write more than the first sheet of paper. Why I have mentioned this? Because many students start counting the number of words. Please don't count the number of words. You have had practice of 3 years. And the impression that you have to create to the examiner and to the invigilator is that of an experienced and a well-practiced student. So don't start counting. You should have ample analysis of the space which you use in writing, for example, 100 words, and how much more space will you utilize in writing 20 words. So if it is a normal size of the handwriting, neither too large nor too short, then you are going to take just one sheet of the paper, the first sheet of the paper. Staying focused is the most important thing for this question. Avoid excessive and irrelevant information. Don't start writing unnecessary examples or references or quotes which are not the demand of the rubric. So you have to remain focused. Next steps. Read the summary question first. You don't have to read the passage first. You have to read the summary question first. And then you have to read your text. First read the question, then the text, and highlight for the answers as you go. You can have a pencil in order to highlight the key points or the content points which you call them. Remember that this is a focused summary, so only include relevant information to your question. After highlighting, quickly decide which points belong together, which flow together. So the interlinked points which are linked to each other, they will be written together in one sentence, because the most important thing that you have to create in the writing part is joining connectivity. The effect of connectivity should be there. Aim to get around 10 individual points. In answer to your question, don't copy or quote, use maximum of your own words. So the total individual 10 points, I mean to say, if there will be one, you can say, question in the sense that write about the advantages of something, then you will just write 10 advantages. If there will be a question that write about the past and the present development, then 5 content points you will write for the past and 5 for the present. No introduction and no conclusion is required for the summary question, and don't copy or quote. Maximum own words are preferred. Every single sentence should have a purpose and contain a point from the marking scheme. You know that your marks should tally with the marking scheme. Your content points should tally with the marking scheme. Only then you will be able to get maximum marks in this question. How to paraphrase, how to use own word. There are several students who make this complaint that when they start writing, then their majority of the synonyms slip out of their mind. So what is the technique to revise them and how to use own words precisely? Number one, if you don't know a synonym, just copy the word rather than losing the mark for the content point. You know that in some students waste too much time on thinking the synonym of a one word. You know that you are not supposed to write the synonym of each and every word. Only the key words should be replaced with synonyms, and even if you don't know the synonym of a word, don't waste excessive time. You can copy the word, and Cambridge will not deduct your marks for the content point. Your marks will be lost in the writing part, in the quality of writing, and in the style and accuracy part, but content marks you will get, and there are more marks to the content than to the writing assessment objective. So you must know the division of the marks so that you are attempting the question accurately. Sometimes it is not possible to get a good synonym for very precise nouns. Now, this is also a very interesting advice. Sometimes you are thinking of the synonyms of the key words of the text. For example, if the passage was about mammoth or about cave painting, so the advice, very clear advice for you is do not use synonyms for precise noun. These are precise nouns. If you would write the synonym of mammoth, you will take more than 5 to 10 words, and even then that definition will not be appropriate because there are so many elephants, and mammoth is a distinct species which will not be covered by a synonym. So it is better to use the word as it is. But what you have to gain is that do not start every sentence with the word mammoth if your passage is about mammoth. You have to vary your sentence structure. This is what you have to achieve. Definitely. Don't repeat points. There must not be any repetition. Cut out the repetitive points and connect the interlinked ideas, or you will lose marks for focus and concision. Don't include irrelevant information that does not answer the question, and do not change the meaning of the content point. How can you change the meaning of the content point when you write wrong synonym? If you are sure short about the synonym of a word, then definitely write it. Otherwise, you can copy the word, because losing marks in the content part will be more, you can say, disadvantageous to the candidate than losing marks in the writing part, because there is the division of 10 plus 5, which I have already mentioned to you. Use synonyms. Switch around the sentence structures. I will be sharing examples of all these tips and techniques. Number one thing is that you should be well aware of the synonyms of words. Secondly, you should be changing the sentence structure. For example, if it is active sentence, you can make it passive. If it is talking about, you can say a list of things, you can change the order of the list of things. Change the order of ideas from the original text, just as I was telling you. Keep the meaning the same, be concise, keep it short, because there is just 120 words limit, and exceeding the word limit excessively will be, you can say, disadvantageous. Maximum you can write between 115 to 122 or 23. 2-3 words can be exceeded, not 10 to 15 words. Search the content point. There are 6 points for each of the questions. How many can you find? Total you have to find out 10 to 12. Why did I say more than 10? Because you don't know accurately what is in the marking scheme. So if you will write one extra content point per category, it will be safe for you, because in this question the examiner will check your extra point, and if you would be able to express them in 120 words, then your marks for the content will be awarded. Follow the rubrics accurately. According to text B, what are the various attractions of cycle touring? I have taken this question from the past paper. I will be sharing some detail of this in the remaining slides. Your summary should not be more than 120 words. This is exactly written by the Cambridge examiner, so it does not allow you to deviate from the word limit. 10 marks are for the content, 5 marks are for the quality of writing. This is the pattern of the question form text B. I have taken it from the past paper. I will be mentioning the year also. Now you see this is the text which I have taken. You can read the text or you can take the screenshot of this text. This is 2021 1 variant. Okay. And this is the text about cycle touring, that what are the benefits of cycle touring and all that. You can take the screenshot or you can read it yourself. I am going to read a few sentences. Riding around the world seems like a romantic way to travel. Now you see, like for example, if I am asked to rephrase this sentence, so I will be encircling the word romantic. For example, traveling will remain the same, riding will remain the same, but I can change the order of the sentence whenever I would like. For example, change riding around the world, I can say moving around the world. I can say traveling around the world. I can switch the word travel from here to here, so that the examiner knows that I am an expert of language abilities. I can do some kind of changes instead of copying things wholeheartedly. This is something to be avoided. Then this is the remaining part of the same passage. The name of the passage is Cycle Touring Right for You. I have taken the, you can say, the picture of the text from the past paper. You can read it yourself, and then we will be looking into the content points of this passage. These are the specimen content points. Why did I show them to you? So that you know that the content point should be as brief as these. They should be as smart as these. They should be as catchy as these and as attractive as these. For example, you will just say romantic way to travel. You see here I did not change the word romantic into the synonym. I have used it as it is because usage of synonym will be the next part in which I will be on which I will be working in the writing part, when I will be joining these content points in the own words. Then traveling the world, wild camping, chances to relax, talking with locals. These are all the benefits, overcoming physical challenge. There are more content points like adventure to explore the unknown, noticing animals and flowers which you might miss otherwise, small villages, other cyclists will help you, experiencing unusual food, unexpected discovery. Now, examiner would have all these content points list with him, and he will tally them from your answer. He will put a tick wherever he will find your answer, wherever he will find the correct content point, but he will see your linking ability, how well you have started each sentence and how strongly you are connecting them. How many different ways of paraphrasing do you already know? Might be you are saying that the only difficulty that you have in paraphrasing is that you are not aware of the synonym of each and every word. So you spend and waste time on thinking the synonyms and you waste a lot of time. Let me tell you that paraphrasing means rewriting something using your own words. This is the definition of paraphrasing, that you rewrite something, but at this time you will be using maximum of your own words. What are the methods of paraphrasing? Number one, as much as possible, you should be using synonyms. Don't use synonyms of words which are specific nouns, like the example of mammoth I have given you here. Another example is of robin, which is a typical kind of bird. If you will call it bird, that will not be correct, because there are different kinds of birds and robin is also a unique kind of bird. Be careful not to change the meaning too much or make the answer too general. Don't make it too general. Original quote, for example, was that discovered on a river bank in Siberia, she is the most perfectly preserved woolly mammoth ever discovered. Examples I have taken from different papers. Some of the examples I have created on my own for your understanding and for your clarity of concept. Now you see the words which were rephrased. I have put them in green color. For example, instead of discovered, I have written found, and instead of perfectly preserved, the answer is the best conserved woolly mammoth that has ever been located. Instead of discovered, previously it was the word found, and now the answer is located. So this is how remaining thing is the same. Instead of she is, the name has been written. The remaining answer, you can see that it is the same, but the only thing that has been changed is that the keywords have been rephrased with synonyms. Let's look at some more techniques of doing paraphrasing. This is the second method, which is to remove unimportant words. What are the unimportant words? Which are elaborative words which explain things with the help of adverbs, with the help of examples. Sometimes, for example, you can often delete adverbs like very, really, truly, extremely. The example is shared before you. The program succeeds brilliantly in bringing drama to a quite amazing story. Now, the example how they have rephrased it, the program succeeds in dramatizing this story. Now, you see, bring brilliantly in bringing drama to a quite amazing story. All this has been rephrased by the change of the word, by removing the word adverb, and by bringing a suitable synonym for this. Third method is change the sentence order. For example, you can keep the words the same but change their order. Look at this example. This is also very interesting. I wanted you to do it yourself. That is why I left the answer incomplete. Original quote was riding around the world seems like a romantic way to travel. Just you, your bike, and the open road, trackling, whatever comes your way. Now, all these examples of traveling, just you, your bike, and the open road. For example, you can start with open road, you can start with tackling whatever comes your way, you can then mention your bike, you can then mention your traveling. So the order of the things will be changed so that to create the impression that you have not copied things, you have done some kind of change and some kind of innovation. The fourth method is to use conjunctions to join similar or related ideas. And the technique which is used to join these things is fan voice. Fan voice means F stands for, A stands for and, N stands for nor, B for but, O for or, Y for yet, and S for so. These are some of the conjunctions, and even better than that will be to use connectors, which are even smarter ways of connecting things. Now, let's first complete this example. You can see only a handful have been found before, but none like her. Her name is Luba, a 1 month old baby mammoth. And the example is that her name is Luba and she is a 1 month old baby mammoth, and the conjunction which has been used is and. And is the conjunction which has been used in this sentence. Another thing, another technique, another method which you can use is the usage of semicolons. For example, what is semicolon? Semicolon is a punctuation mark which joins two independent clauses. What are two independent clauses? Independent clause means something which can stand on its own. It's like a sentence, but it does not have a full stop at the end. For example, you see, here is the example. He aced the exams. If I wished, I could put a full stop over here, and then I would have to start the other a he with capital H. He burned a midnight oil. This is also independence clause, and this is also independent clause. If I wished, I could make two small sentences, but that would have been too childish because in that way there would have been two sentences starting with he and two small sentences. This would have created a juvenile effect to my writing ability. So I joined them with the help of a semicolon. Both of them are independent ideas. Let's look at another example. We can achieve our goals. We can work persistently. You see, the way both of them were starting in similar ways, but by joining them with the help of independent clause, with the help of semicolon, they were joined into one sentence. So there was no, you can say, image of repetition. This is how you can join similar ideas into one sentence with the help of a semicolon. The sixth method is turn active voice into passive voice or vice versa, meaning the other way around. For example, I delivered your message was the sentence and the passive voice will be your message was delivered by me. This SVO means subject, verb, object. I was the subject, delivered was the verb, and O message was the object. And here the position of subject and object has been interchanged. This is the method to change active into passive voice. We are presented with stunning 3D animations of Luba and her mother. This is the second example and how it has been changed. You see, the whole sentence gives the impression as if it is a new sentence just by changing the active sentence into passive sentence. Stunning 3D animations of Luba and her mother have been presented to us. Now use connecting words as I already mentioned. This is the seventh method. Now you see conjunctions are different things and connecting words are different things. They are the smarter ones. For example, furthermore, moreover, additionally, finally. Not only this, but is a longer one because it is taking 4 words. So you can avoid this because you have just 120 words. So you should be looking at smarter connectors. Similarly, use contrasting words to share counter argument. What are the contrasting words? Like however, but, on the other hand, in contrast, contrastingly, such kind of, although, these are the contrasting words. Now let's have a recap of the tips for summary writing. While paraphrasing, don't change the meaning of the original content point. Be careful not to change the original meaning too much, especially nouns. Avoid repetition. Be careful not to make the same point more than once. Group similar ideas, meaning join similar ideas, because think about what ideas belong together in the same sentence or paragraph. Sentence order. If you are not sure how to rephrase, keep the words the same but change the sentence order. Tips continued. Give yourself around 15 minutes, no introduction or conclusion. So because the question is carrying 15 marks, so maximum you can give it 20 minutes. You should be able to write your summary in 20 minutes because half time you will spend in reading the question and understanding the content points, and remaining 10 to 12 minutes you would be spending on writing down 120 words. Ample practice would enable you to do that, and you should have ample practice of summary question, text A, and the simpler question so that you can spend maximum time on the tricky and the difficult question. Focus on paraphrasing, synonyms, and grouping ideas. Then you should mark your own summary in the class practice or before the exams. Number one, check your content points from the marking scheme, because if they are not matching with the marking scheme, then they will not be considered correct. Highlight your connecting words in the 120 words and circle all your connecting words. Have you used variety of connectors? Have you used the right connector at the right place? Meaning, when you are contrasting, only then you should be writing the contrasting connector. Otherwise, you should be using linking connectors like furthermore, moreover, additionally. Underline sentence changes. Where have you changed the order of the original sentence? Underline those sentences because I have told you 7 methods. So make sure that you utilize all those 7 methods. Okay. Put an A star next to your best grouped ideas. Which sentence flows the best and has many content points in it? Circle your synonyms. Which words did you change? Did you keep the meaning the same? Use 2 paragraphs. Now there is a, you can say, a debate about whether there should be 1 paragraph in summary or whether there should be 2 paragraphs. It's not a big issue. Even if you will write 1 paragraph summary, it will not be considered wrong. But if you will write two paragraph. In that case, when there are two strands in your topic, two strands means that there are two subtopics, then you can make two paragraph. Otherwise, for 120 words, if you will write one paragraph, that will not be wrong. Did you remember to split your answer into two separate paragraphs? This is what the examiner is asking. And this is all from summary writing from my side. Best luck, best of luck, and best wishes for every exam. But the advice is that please practice will make you perfect. So don't forget to practice the things. Allah Hafiz and take care.